Yes.
And there are an incredible number of questions related to cancer.
Right.
And one in particular is, I'll read this one. We've made virtually no improvements in cancer survivability since Nixon declared war on it in '71. In some cases, we've actually gone the other way. Would you say that this is one of the ways that we've chosen to provide ourselves with opportunities for ascension and enlightenment, or without to...
Duh.
Without directly endeavoring to cure those with cancer, how can Shaumbra increase the odds for those with cancer to awaken according to their schedule for doing so? And there are as many questions here about cancer for Shaumbra as there are for non-Shaumbra.
Oh, good. Okay. So, Ann, would you mind answering? You're obviously experienced with it, and you have actually better insight than even I do. Cancer, why is it here? What purpose is it serving, and how should you deal with it?
Well, I think she answered her own question there.
Yeah, absolutely. Don't you love that?
It is an experience that can be totally freeing, liberating you from some of your anchors, if you choose it to be.
Yeah.
So it's not a good experience, it's not a bad experience. It's an experience for liberation.
And the worst thing is, what? You die. And you know, seriously, it's easier than being born. And you've done it a lot. And that identity of yours screams out and says, but I can't die. Well, you're going to anyway. But it's an anchor, the run from death. And once you accept that you're going to die, which you've done over and over and over, and you finally got to the point, it's like, geez, all right, but I'll just live in the meantime. And so the purpose of cancer, energetically, what is cancer? Right?
Just out of balance.
Out of balance, yeah. And I would go so far as to say it usually represents any anger or hatred, which is things being out of balance. So the research being done into cancer right now doesn't address the energetic issues. It's looking into the biological issues, the interplay between cells and enzymes and chemicals. But when they start looking into an energetic interplay, put a bunch of cancer cells together, activate them, and have them fight with each other. Because that's where they came from. Battle, fighting, anger. Observe them. Observe how they interact with each other in their battle, in the little test tube. Feed them. So some will get strong, some will get weak. Some will transmute. Some will try to then recancerize the ones who transmute it. Watch the dynamics through a microscope, energetically, not biologically. You'll learn the answer. Now, the question is consciousness ready for the cancer cure? No, they're actually not. How many years? Any guess on? Just a good guess.
Well, it's just a guess. I like the idea that when enough people let go of their fear and anger, that it will spread like wildfire through mass consciousness.
Yes. And typically I'd say, and you were correct, about 20 years that cancer will still be prevalent. But it doesn't have to be anchored on that. It can change very, very quickly. Right now, if you trend it out, about 20 years. But it could change. It could change by Shaumbra recognizing where cancer comes from. And recognizing that you can't just call it bad. It does serve a purpose. It gets a lot of people thinking about their life before they die. Unlike battle happens pretty quick. Cancer, they have time to really contemplate the meaning of life. So it's serving a consciousness purpose to an extent. But that being said, aren't there better ways? Absolutely, absolutely. So for Shaumbra, who are dealing with cancer, it tends to be energetically some old residue of anger and hate. And this is very simple. Don't think about it real much. What does it take to transcend cancer? Loving yourself. A choice and loving yourself. You can make a choice, but if you don't love yourself, that cancer is still going to be resident. By the way, every one of you here has cancer. Every one of you, sorry. Every one of you have cancer cells in your body. They're potentials. It may not be activated, may never be activated. Only a small percent of you is it going to be, although you can change that. Those cells are there, They're the shadows of self-doubt, hatred, and anger. And you can either let them come to the surface or you can release them. That's why we're going to be talking about anchor points, letting those go, changing the energy, the patterns, and the dynamics. So if you have cancer, love yourself and accept it, by the way. Stop battling it. You found that out early on. You're not going to win a battle with cancer at all. You're going to fight something that you designed. Now what you can do is love your way through the cancer. Love your way through it. It'll transmute all that stuck energy. And it'll make your whole body shine and you'll enjoy life anyway then.